hope of glory. And then in verses 3 through 5, we rejoice or we worship God because of trials and hardships and suffering that we are going to go through. And yet we can know, according to these verses, that they're for our good, they're for our growth, they're for making us more like Christ. And then in the last 3 or 4 verses, he talks about the fact that Christ died for the ungodly. That while we were yet his enemies, Christ died for us. And that's verses 1 through 11. You can almost sense in verse 12 that Paul, and I hope this is what Paul's doing, because I do this a lot of times. I'll get done a sermon, and I'll realize, man, I never really pushed that point like I wanted to push that point, or I didn't develop that, so I'll come back and I'll come back with a review the next week and then kind of re-preach the sermon. And it's almost as if Paul gets done that section and he's like, okay, I don't know that I said that strongly enough, because in verse 12 and following in this chapter, Paul explains again, he expounds, he goes deeper into the wonder of God justifying folks, of God calling sinners to himself. And you'll listen, he's going to use a theological term here called federal headship. He's going to talk about federal headship terminology. Federal headship is where a group is represented by their head. A group is represented by their leader. A group is identified by their leader. A group is affected, if you would, by their leader. All through the Old Testament, we saw that God held the entire nation, guilty or innocent, based on the king. God punished the entire nation for the sins of the king. And when the king repented, God relented in his punishment for the entire nation. An example of federal headship would be that, I would assume you guys know that Americans are not loved everywhere in the world. And right this instant, Americans are identified with one person. And he is the President of the United States. And when somebody hears that you're an American overseas, they immediately start comparing you to Donald Trump. Because, listen, he is, in all literalness, he is our federal head. And so if you're an American, if folks in the United States find out that you're a Republican, then let me tell you, they do. They call you a MAGA Republican. You're a Make America Great. You're a Trumpster. All right, now y'all listen. I am a Republican. And I did vote for him. And there are lots of things about him that I don't want to be identified with. But having said that, he is the leader of the Republican Party. He's the leader of the United States. And therefore, we are identified, good or bad, whether we like that or not. Now, having said that, y'all listen, the guy before him, I didn't vote for. And I was still identified by him. And the guy before him, the guy before him, the guy. So whoever is in that office is our federal head. Way more important than that starts in verse 12. Talking about the headship and what is true of us because of our head, Adam. Because of our father, Adam. Now listen, Adam is referred to here as our father. And you understand, you've got to go back, I don't know how many generations. I don't know how many generations. A minimum of 6,000 to 7,000 years of generations to get back to Adam being your father. He says here, verse 12, therefore, just as through one man sin entered into the world, and death through sin, and so death spread to all men, because all sinned. Verse 14, nevertheless, death reigned from Adam until Moses, even over those who did not sin in the exact likeness of the offense of Adam. Adam sinned. Adam all men. Romans 3:23, the page before this. For all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. Romans 3:10. There is no one righteous, not even one. There's no one who understands. There's no one who seeks for God. All have sinned in Adam. In Psalm 51, verse 5, David said, listen, he said, I was brought forth in iniquity. Listen to what he was saying. I was conceived in iniquity. David is saying, I was a sinner in my mother's womb. The idea of federal headship is, listen, we do not become sinners when we sin. This idea that we're born innocent, we're born perfect, we're born, and it's not until you sin, it's not until you knowingly sin, it's not until, I was raised in a church that said it wasn't until you reached age 12, the age of accountability, and you never sinned until age 12, and anybody who thinks nobody sinned before age 12 has never had young brothers or sisters, and never taught public school, and never, that's just not true. Never driven a bus, I can tell you that. Those little suckers are being possessed. Now, y'all listen, this idea is that we are born in sin. Jesus alludes to that in Matthew chapter 7. At the end of the Sermon on the Mount, he said there's a wide road and there's a narrow road. The wide road leads to destruction. Listen to what Jesus said. The wide road leads to hell. Many are on that road. The narrow road leads to life. Few find that road. Many are on this road. Few find this road. Why? Because listen, you're born on the wide road. You have to be born again to get on the narrow road. You're born on the wide road. Why? Because of Adam. Because we are in Adam. Isaiah 64 verse 6 talks about this. For all of us have become like one who is unclean, and all of our righteous deeds are like filthy rags. And all of us wither like a leaf, and our iniquities and sins like the wind take us away. We are unclean. Even the good stuff I do, is tainted by evil. Sin is our nature. Now listen, we have a sin nature because of Adam. It is human. You talk about human nature. Human nature is sin nature. We are sinners by nature. Romans 7. Paul talks about this later. We'll get to this in a week or two. Romans 7, verse 14. Listen. Now, tell me this doesn't sound like you and me. Verse 15. Excuse me. Romans chapter 7, verse 15. What I am doing, I do not understand. For I do not practice what I would like to do. I do the very thing I hate. If I do the very thing I do not want to do, I agree with the law, confessing that the law was good. Verse 17. So now no longer am I the one doing it, but sin dwells in me. Verse 18. I know that nothing good dwells in me, that means in my flesh. For the willing to do right is present in me, but the doing of the good is not. Verse 19. The good that I want to do, I never do. I practice the evil that I don't want to do. I don't want to do wrong, I do it all the time. I really want to do right, I never do it. That was Paul. What's he saying? I've got a sin nature that affects everything about me. Here in verse 12 through 14, when sin entered the world, it says here that sin and death entered the world. Sin, it says here, reigned. Death reigned. Death reigned. Death is the king, if perfect world. He was in a perfect world. He was married to a perfect woman. Now listen, let me explain something about that. She was physically perfect. That's great. She was mentally perfect. Weirder than that, she was emotionally perfect. She never had a bad day. I don't even know what that is. Right? He had, listen, what was he allowed to eat in the world? Everything. He could eat everything in the world except for one thing. There was one tree. Don't eat from that tree. There was one rule in the entire world. And Adam and Eve became fixated on that. No, Adam wasn't alone. Adam wasn't alone. I don't know about y'all, but listen, I can resist temptation a whole lot better when somebody else is there. I act like it's not a damn thing. You know, okay. I don't know if you've ever been walking with somebody that, you know, you like. I don't know if you've ever been walking along with somebody that you were in a relationship with. Now, let me explain something, guys. I'm going to try to help you. All right? If you're like walking in the mall and you're holding hands with like your woman, and you look up and there's an incredibly attractive woman coming, let me help you here. Look at the wall. Just, you know, just walk along, you know, just because I can tell you, girls, if I'm lying, I'm dying. Sometime in there, are you going to look at your guy to see if he's looking at that girl? I just want to know, is that a yes? A yes? Okay, so let me explain something. Not that these guys would ever have looked at her anyway. The fact that you're standing there makes it a whole lot easier not to. Just say. Eve was right there. She was right there. Adam's not alone. Adam has a perfect relationship with God. Adam is perfect. There's one rule. And he screwed it up. And sin entered the world, and death entered the world for every single person involved. We are guilty in Adam. Before we are born, when we are conceived, we are guilty. Now, y'all hang with me. That's not fair. So that's not fair. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. Adam did it. And that's true. Listen to me. It's not fair. Federal headship has nothing to do with fair. It has to do with the way God deals with us. We are guilty in Adam. We are guilty before we ever sin. We sin because we are sinners. Federal headship is not, listen, us being in Adam is not fair. Now, go on to verse 15. The free gift is not like the transgression. For if the transgression of the one, by the transgression of the one, many died, much more did the grace of God and the gift by grace of the one man, Jesus Christ, abound to the many. That's what he said. If death came in by one man's sin, here comes a second federal headship, a second Adam, Jesus Christ, also, listen, a perfect man. But Jesus Christ lived in a sin-soaked world. Jesus Christ was raised in a family. None of his siblings believed in him. He was raised in a sinful family. Jesus Christ did not have to obey or disobey one of God's laws. He had to obey every single one of them. In Matthew chapter 5, verse 17, Jesus said, I came to fulfill all of the law. He had to obey every single one of them. He was tempted in the wilderness. Adam was tempted in the Garden of Eden. Christians, you know. You'll have some lost friends that you are pretty sure are going to hell that are nicer than you. Not fair at all that God looks at me and sees Jesus Christ. And unless those people come to Christ, when God looks at them, he sees them as still being in Adam, still being in sin. It's not fair. It's not fair. Grace is not fair. God giving the gift of grace to us is not fair. Listen what's at the end, verse 20. Verse 20 and 21. The law came in so that the transgression would increase. So this is what it's saying. People were sinning ever since Adam. People sinned ever since Adam. From Adam to Moses. Then God gave the law. And when God gave the law, then all of a sudden, the sin grew because there's sinning in ignorance and then there's sinning in defiance. Sinning in ignorance is still sin. In other words, you do something you didn't know was wrong, but you did it. And then there's sinning that you know is wrong. And it says here that when God gave the law, the sin increased. Listen to what it says. But where sin increased, grace abounded all the more. You and I cannot, if you're in Christ, you cannot out-sin God's grace. That's why it's called amazing grace. It's amazing grace. Now listen, every one of us shows grace to folks every now and then. Every one of us shows grace to folks every now and then. And I'll be honest with you, I show weak grace. I show grace to people that do little tiny things that irritate me. And when I'm having a good day, and it really didn't irritate me much. All right, and then I'll be honest with you, it can be 5 minutes later, and somebody can cut me off slightly in traffic, and I can go road rage and be thankful I don't have a gun right there because I would shoot them. So I show grace for a couple seconds. God's grace is amazing grace. Verse 21, so that as sin reigned in death, sin and death ruled. Even so, grace would reign through righteousness to eternal life through Jesus Christ our Lord. God's grace reigns. God's grace rules. God's grace rules my sin. Apart from Christ, sin and death rule me. So in Christ, God's grace, Christ's righteousness rules me. Sin and death do not. We are called, listen, to worship strongly. If you're in Christ, we have reason to worship. Let's pray. God, I thank you for your word. I thank you for federal headship. I thank you for seeing us as you see our Savior. Seeing us as you see our shepherd. Judging us based on his